work smoother this time. This guy, give me a minute. YouTube is still receiving the signal. All right, let's see. YouTube. Are you going to show up? Are you going to show up today? Here we go. It's loading something now. Is it still hiccuping? Are you still hiccuping, YouTube? It says excellent connection. What I'm looking at is it looks like it's still kind of hiccuping, but I don't know if it's doing that on your end. So anybody that's watching this, leave in the comment section how the stream is looking. Is it stuttering? Is it stopping? What's going on with it? Yeah, Alicia, there was some issues with the stream, I believe, so that's what I went ahead and tried to restart it. But again, let me know if there's any like serious issues with it though. Because right now YouTube is giving me some issues. Or at least I believe it is. What's up, Jackson, the Game Boy, the one who wins? What's good? I'm not sure what's going on. I stopped my uploads. Wait, no, I didn't. I think I know what the problem is. I think I know. One second. I think I know what the problem is. No, actually, it's done. That shouldn't be causing an issue. Yeah, I thought maybe I had some more uploads going, but oh, yes I do. One second. All right. Now everything should be getting better. Now things should start to get smoother. I did have one more video that was uploading, I guess. Give it some time. It should start to get better. Yeah, it's going to slowly start to correct itself. Now, I don't know if you can really hear me right now. It could be buffering on your end, so you'll probably get this in segments or something, but I'm still going to try to talk through this. Well, you should have already heard me. The stream should get better because I had some more videos that were uploading that I didn't know about that I had to cancel. So, I don't know what the status of the gameplay for today is going to be. I do plan on streaming still, but the question is, will it be at like after this stream? Probably not. It'll probably be about 2 hours after, because I still have to upload these videos and everything, and I can't upload videos and live stream at the same time. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. You guys have had a chance to see the gameplay and everything of Far Cry 6, so you probably know a lot more about it than I do. Hey Ed, when you say it's just the face cam, does that mean that the face cam is acting funny, or all you can see is the face cam? I'm about to start the video in a second. This video was brought to us by IGN. Nice to see some new faces here. Very nice to see some new faces. Hopefully you'll be coming through in a couple hours for the gameplay of Far Cry 5. Honestly, I don't care what this game looks like. The fact that it has Juan Carlo Esposito, instant buy for me. Instant buy for me. But anyway, let's go and jump into this and see what it has to offer. It'll be starting in a second. I skipped past the big like hour-long wait and just went to the part where the video should be starting soon. Yep, everything's all good now. Namaste. Hey, Joe Jerome. I appreciate it. We have a request here. Wallace and Gromit, the wrong trousers. Is that a movie or a show? Because movies don't qualify. Just a heads up, the video is going. The video is moving. As a matter of fact, I can probably push it forward a bit. Let's get to the portion where the video is actually playing. There we go. Let's go back a bit. There it is. Now let's see what this has to offer. Sponsored reactions. I don't really do sponsored stuff too much. I don't know. I honestly do not know. Okay, that's cool, Joe. This reminds me of Tropico. John's Life was good. Thanks for coming through. The gameplay stream will probably be in a couple hours. After this ends, I'm gonna have to try to re-upload. I'm gonna have to upload those videos. I don't want them to be released too late. If the stream doesn't happen today, then I'll just do it tomorrow. But I gotta get the videos out. I don't really know what the timer in the corner is, but the video's going, so I'm just gonna keep it like this for now. I don't know if this is I have no idea if this is copyright or not, so I'm gonna cut it down some. Just to be on the safe side. I'll cut it up once some talking starts. But for now, yeah, this gets cut down. I'm not gonna have this stream killed because of some copyright. But yeah, about the whole sponsor thing, if you have a video you want me to react to, I would say just leave it in the requests. If you wanted immediately reacted to, just like any other video, just the $5 super chat will probably be enough. I don't really do sponsorships like that. When you said sponsors, I thought you meant like reviewing an item or reacting to something like that. But if you just mean like a video that you made, then Yeah, it's just a regular request. Hey, John's got a birthday tomorrow. Well, happy birthday if I do not have the opportunity to say happy birthday tomorrow to you. Well, the fact that you know this song makes me think that it's more likely to be copyright claimed, so it makes me want to cut it down even more. I can't take any chances. See, over on Twitch, if you get a copyright thing in your video, usually they'll just like cut out maybe 30 seconds or maybe a couple minutes of your video and then it comes back on. On YouTube, they'll just stop the stream. The stream will just die. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with 31. 31's a great age. It's a great age to be, goddammit. Alright, sound like it ended. I wonder who you'll be playing as. The video or the reveal trailer a long time ago put a lot of emphasis on the sun. As I said earlier, nothing wrong with 31. It's not old at all. Software I'm streaming with, I'm using Streamlabs. I need a better camera though. I'm trying to get one. I'm trying to get a legit camera with the Elgato Cam Link. That way the quality of the streams will be better. What does that say? President Castillo something United Nation, or wants to unite the nation or something like that. It's cool. I'll let it slide this time. I'm skipping ahead because it's showing portions of the island and everything, and that's great. It makes me not want to skip ahead because it has a little bit of like lore bits, I guess. Gives you a good feel of the island and everything. This gigantic damn stream just for what, 30 minutes of video. Let's skip ahead. Here we go. We're gonna get 30 minutes once it starts. see.
Señor Presidente.
What can true Yarans do to serve Yara?
True Yarans have long memories. We remember how so-called civilized nations treated us when we needed them most.
Are you concerned about the terroristas who call themselves Libertad?
He always has such an unsettling smile.
You're an orphan, see? Why do you want to run? Remember, Danny, Castillo has kept you an orphan.
I only see you. So why are you here?
I watched Castillo order a whole boat of our people shot to death. And I want to know who's going to help me take him down.
Okay.
Okay.
Castillo's got, what, 300,000 troops? I count 6 burnt-out guerrillas, and you with a bullet to the leg. You can shoot. So shoot.
You have rules. You might kill, but you're no killer.
You know I'm not a guerrilla, right?
Everything got another purpose.
She had like a mortar on her back.
50-50. Those eyes, Danny. I know exactly who you are.
I am nothing like you.
Just realized there's music playing. We might be copyright claimed. Already. Don't even know it.
Hi there, I'm Navid Khaveri.
I thought it was part of the game. Wow.
And I'm so excited to represent our team and finally show you our game in action. With Far Cry 6, we're gonna throw you into our most ambitious open world yet. Yara, an island deep in the heart of the Caribbean, filled with rich tropical ecosystems alongside decaying urban landscapes. Yara is an island of contrasts. Isolated and frozen in time for over 50 years after a violent revolution cut it off from the rest of the world, it now finds itself on the verge of collapse. Last year, we introduced you to Yara's Presidente, Anton Castillo, with an amazing performance by Giancarlo Esposito.
A Castillo must be a
His name is
lion
Giancarlo?
for Yara. He's full of lambs.
The reception we've had to Anton and Diego has been incredible. We're just getting started. Anton is a man hell-bent on returning Yara to his idea of its former glory. And while his motivations are far more complex than they seem, the cost of his vision will be paid in blood.
If a dog refuses to break, then we must put them down.
To achieve his dream for Yara and his son Diego, Anton has clamped down on freedoms, instituted brutal social reforms, and cast anyone who speaks out against him into forced labor. His oppression of the Yaran people has pushed the island to the brink of revolution.
When tyranny is law, revolution is order.
Yara, once considered a jewel of the Caribbean, is now a powder keg. And you are the match. Your name is Danny Rojas, and you'll experience the revolution through Danny's eyes right from the beginning. Born and raised in Yara's capital city, you're a young military dropout who wants nothing to do with Anton or the revolution. You just want to get the hell out of Yara. But once you're face to face with Anton's brutality, you realize that the only chance to live free is to lead an army of guerrillas into a new revolution, with the very soul of the island at stake.
And I need you here with us, man.
And instill communism.
At the start of your journey, you'll get to pick your identity and customize your look while you navigate the ranks of the guerrilla movement. Every aspect of the game has been developed with
Voss
the goal
was
to
the
make
dude
you
from
feel
Far Cry
like a
3.
guerrilla fighter, battling an asymmetric war against Anton and his army. The guerrilla fantasy is all about making
The character's
one
so
guerrilla
good, they've been trying to
feel like
recreate him
1,000.
every single Far
Embracing
Cry.
This was at the core of how we crafted our gameplay, our world, and the characters you'll meet along the way. In Yara, you'll find other guerrillas, black market dealers, and everyday Yarans who each have their own reasons for joining the cause, including our friendly guerrilla Juan Cortez, a master of invention, an architect of revolution. He's our guerrilla teacher. And class starts now.
Guapo, you listen. Rule 16. The Guerrilleros revolution never ends. Always another war, another cantina, another ugly bartender.
Juan Cortez,
Bartender salty.
What do you think gave it away, Guapo?
this is a fucking waste of time.
Does he have a pet
Can you whistle?
alligator?
What?
Nah, you can't whistle.
Holy hell.
Not bad, Danny. But we're just getting started. Rule number 1. A good guerrilla is a hidden guerrilla.
Muerto el perro, se acabó la rabia.
We lead our operations in secret camps across the country. Here, guerrillas live, train, and plan.
Holy hell, that's a good gun.
We go in, grab our people, kill whoever gets in our way.
By smuggling in supplies,
Yeah, our craft.
add some piss and fire to our movement.
You got that right.
Camp chef, black market
But that won't stop him from trying to make another
Savings got
villain like
everything
Voss.
guerrilla needs. Even do-it-yourself vehicles. You're gonna love it, Danny. Rule number 2. A good guerrilla masters their environment. This land is your home, Danny. I'm sure you know every inch of it. From the bloodthirsty jungles and postcard shorelines, to dead-end towns, and our friendly capital city. How you get around is up to you.
Good girl.
If you want to play it safe, take our secret paths carved in the dirt of old revolutions. Hola, Danny.
How you doing?
Or take a risk and operate in plain sight of Castillo's assholes. Go ahead and hide your weapons.
What is up with these weapons?
Bribes,
What do you got?
sabotage, interceptions. You don't always need to be a loudmouth, Danny.
Christmas trees? Do you
Some of these
have
weapons look like they were made with
Can't
like
take
the
crazy money for this. How you think El Presidente
Dead Rising
Maria's new face?
craft system.
Okay. Go through.
Rule number 3. Fucked up situations call for fucked up solutions.
Hey, he's not here.
If you expected reinforcements, I got news for you. You're an army of one against an army of thousands. When shit gets real, we make use of whatever we have. We call that
Interesting.
resolver. That means absolutely everything from sardine cans,
Hey, thank you again, Alicia.
goddamn batteries, to old motorcycle
Okay, that's cool.
and built
I appreciate it.
equipment. And some very unique, deadly weapons.
Yeah, these weapons are interesting. Like,
Now we're fucking talking. This, the Supremo backpacks. Handcrafted by yours truly. Each one will make you feel and fight with the power of a goddamn guerrilla army. You and I both know you want this. You're a guerrilla. for a guerrilla to shit my pants rush of an ambush? The taste of sweet victory after you freed your people from tyrants? It's...
This is freaking wild.
It's fun.
Oh, and the final rule. A good guerrilla always brings a friend along.
Oh, look at that.
Moral support.
It's like they took Far Cry and mixed
So there
it
you
with
have it. Far Cry 6 will
Saints
be available
Row.
on October 7th on PC and consoles. We hope you enjoyed this first glimpse of gameplay. We have a lot more coming soon that we can't wait to share with you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
And that was it. That was all. Here, maybe we could find some more Far Cry stuff. Let's go and look, see if we can find some more Far Cry stuff. Okay, let's do Eurogamer. Eurogamer has a video, 101 details we spotted in the 22 minutes of Far Cry 6. Eurogamer's a good gaming site. I really enjoy them. Only if you're planning on starting a revolution.
Hey all, Ian Higton from Eurogamer here, and oh my do I have a treat for you Far Cry fans out there, because I've just gotten my hands on 22 minutes worth of brand new Far Cry 6 gameplay. In this video I'll be taking a deep dive into all this lovely footage to bring you 101 awesome info nuggets about this upcoming game, including looks at the Yaren wildlife, the locations, the characters, the weapons, and so much more. Honestly, there's more Far Cry 6 info in here than you can shake a cigar at. So, let's get cracking. First up, let's take a close look at a selection of world beauty shots that were provided. In this first shot, we get a wonderful view of Yara from the air, and it gives us a great idea of the scale of the playground that we're soon to be tearing up. Although this shot already makes Yara look pretty huge, this is actually only a tiny portion of the game world.
That capital city earlier looked
This
big.
screenshot of a map of Yara, the
You don't
island
see it on
we're
the
just
map,
looking at is the small landmass in the bottom left here.
Okay,
called
that makes
Isla
sense.
Santuario.
I was wondering, like, where's
And
the
you see that
capital city?
spire over there in the distance poking over
That's
the
the capital
mountains?
city, I guess.
That tower appears multiple times in this new gameplay footage, including in this shot here.
Okay,
of
that's the
Yara's
capital city.
Esperanza. Just look at how densely packed that city is in this shot. And then, if we look back at the screenshot of the map, we can see that the city of Esperanza is almost as large as the whole of Isla Santuario itself. Also of note
It's
in
like,
this shot are the two large tanker ships here.
Los
I presume
Santos.
these will be stationary and will probably be the setting for one of the game's many missions, but it would be quite cool if big ships like these were constantly moving around from island
Well,
to
I've tried doing
island,
the BBC
emulating the
iPlayer.
movements of
It's
real
another thing that
tankers.
I kind of have issues with.
There's not a huge amount going on in this shot here, but the clear waters and the shadows of the palm trees are definitely being shown to give us the impression that the traditional Far Cry tropical island escapades are back.
I mean, I can always
with
find a
Far
way
Cry
to make it
Vengeance.
work.
Also worth noting is that we can see a rather large fish swimming past here, so chances are we'll be seeing a return of Far Cry 5's fishing mechanic. This next shot shows us one of the more chill areas of Yara, which I presume is captured on the small island we saw earlier. On it we can see a couple of the game's organic vehicles, aka horses, and one even has a rider on it. Then on the right hand side of this shot, we can see a
They got
herd
every
of
portion of the
tigers
game
here
blocked
having
behind
a lovely chill time,
DLC,
presumably unaware that at some point
microtransactions.
we'll come steaming in with some grenades and a flamethrower in order to turn them all into, I don't know, an arrow quiver or something. There's a couple of minor details in this next shot. Expect to see a lot of these goats in the rural areas of Yara, as goat farming is pretty abundant in real life Cuba. And then, just here on the rock face, is an odd structure with ropes leading off it. This is likely placed here so players can mantle and grapple their way up the side of this waterfall, which better have a secret hidden behind it, or I'll be asking for my money back. These next two shots don't give away too much to be honest.
I hate that in games when they'll have a secret area but then there's nothing in it. Makes no sense. James, what's good?
Here we get a quick glimpse of one of Yara's small coastal villages and yet more of the game's animals, this time chickens and dogs. This dog here looks more like a domesticated pet though.
Is there a reason I should keep your name anonymous?
We'll try to fight some butts while we're waiting to ambush someone. Again, not a huge amount of info here.
It makes me nervous when you say that.
You can see one of Far Cry 6's many weather effects in action. This time a light shower of rain falling on the rusty remains of a tank. This beautiful sunset shot of a Yaran river holds a couple of secrets. Firstly, we can see that there'll be settlements built on stilts alongside
glad to have you.
in this game, and
We will
secondly, we can also see in the top right-hand
It's a freaking
corner
pterodactyl.
the long-necked silhouette of what I believe to be a sandhill crane flying past.
We will be having some
This shot is the reverse angle of the
gameplay live
sunset
stream,
shot, and we can now see
likely
that
later
the
on in the day.
was actually an old
It'll probably be a
restaurant.
few hours from now though.
Then in
I gotta get
the
some
foreground,
videos uploaded.
yet another animal pal to presumably hunt for crafty bits. This time the brown pelican, which is native to Cuba.
Joe's in
and
witness
lives along
protection.
its coastlines. Now this looks like a cool location to explore. This abandoned holiday resort has a lot of
Okay.
little details.
All right.
The main ones I want to point out give weight to the fact that this is probably one of Far Cry 6's outposts, or FND bases as they're called in this installment.
It's beginning to
The
stutter.
first point is that there seems to be a lot of dead bodies wrapped in sheets dumped in this pool, with generator-powered floodlights ready to shine on them at night time.
I mean, hopefully it'll fix itself. Like I said, I can't really do anything at this point. I've turned off all the videos that were streaming at the time I was
Secondly,
having issues earlier.
recent Far Cry games,
Any issues now, I have no idea what's going on with it.
cage as one that would normally hold a wild animal in it. In many of the previous Far Cry games, cages identical to this one are positioned
Like,
in
everything
little
is saying it's
outposts
good on
so
my
that
end.
Sneaky liberators can shoot them open and release the caged beasts for a very toothy distraction. I had to strain my eyes to catch this next one, but amongst the vegetation in this shot, you can just about spot some kind of wildcat. I honestly can't tell what it is exactly, but it seems pretty small, so it's maybe something like an ocelot rather than a big cat like a mountain lion. I love this next shot because not only is it the first time we've seen drivable boats visually confirmed in Far Cry 6, but it also shows us that at least one of the game's missions will take place on an oil rig, which I think is the first time we've seen an oil rig in a Far Cry game since the small one in Far Cry Blood Dragon or the one in Far Cry Vengeance for the Wii. Here's that shot of Esperanza again, and that tall tower, which I'm going to hazard a guess is Anton Castillo's headquarters, as it's such an opulent contrast against the rest of the crumbling buildings surrounding it. What this shot tells me, aside from the fact that Esperanza will be the largest and most dense urban area in any Far Cry game ever, is that it's also going to have a huge amount of verticality to it. These rooftops here look rife for some awesome first-person parkour action. Fingers crossed Far Cry 6 will take inspiration from Dying Light's movement system here and will be able to flow through the city on foot at breakneck speeds using specially built routes.
If you could, they would have shown it during the
If you're wondering
gameplay
how
earlier.
big Castillo's tower is, by the way, this shot from ground level just outside the building should give you a good idea. This is easily the largest building ever seen in a Far Cry game, and I can't wait to climb up it and jump off the top. This is a quieter shot of the city, and it really doesn't give much away. We see a couple
bodega.
more domesticated dogs and another vintage car, but I think the most interesting thing here is that at the end of this road, you can see that the building is in ruins, so there'll obviously be some heavily destroyed areas of Esperanza to fight through. I've got no idea what this El Rayo building is, but I do know what I see in the corner of this shot. and that's a great big tank set up on a checkpoint called Zone 1. This suggests
game is set in a fictional
zones with the most dangerous and heavily guarded
Caribbean island called Yara. I believe it's supposed to be inspired by Cuba.
It's also worth noting that checkpoints like this appear all the way through Far Cry 6, and they need to be liberated so that Libertad's guerrillas can use the road network safely without their tires being blown out, or worse. Here's a reverse shot of that El Rayo building and its neighbouring checkpoint. The monitor on that stand there appears to be displaying an interview with Anton Castillo about the history of Yara, but as this is a Far Cry game, I expect it's actually state broadcast propaganda wrapped up in a nice tourist-friendly package.
From the conquistadors to the Yankees to the
1990s New York.
Anton Castillo is the game's main antagonist, and this next section.
The reason they don't show his feet is because he's wearing Timberlands.
Here's a few snippets of Anton teaching his son Diego about how he uses fear and power to rule Yara.
rule or be ruled. A Castillo must be a lion, for Yara is full of lambs.
If a dog refuses to break, then we must put them down.
Mijo, the difference between a true Yara and a fake Yara can be hard to see, but it's there. A true Yara understands that loyalty to country is key to his survival.
Castillo's personal army is the main enemy faction in Far Cry 6, and in this new footage we can see just how much of a grip it has on Yara. These soldiers have journeyed right outside of the city and have rounded up villagers in a rural area. Chances are you'll get to rescue these villagers in exchange for something like Far Cry 5's resistance points, which will be put towards liberating a region in the game, so
likely
they're probably called liberation points here. This looks like your standard Far Cry convoy mission. Ignore it or take it out for liberation points. I'm pretty sure having to deal with a tank makes it a way more deadly
Reebok
task
pumps.
than in previous games, though. I'm going to guess that this scene is a scripted event rather than a randomly occurring hostage rescue mission, but do listen as the soldier calls the person on the ground a fake fucking Yaran, which is parroting something we heard Castillo mention earlier.
I have money, please! Fake fucking Yaran.
So pay attention to what's being said in these next few shots because, as well as getting some beautiful glimpses of Esperanza in the rain, I think what we're seeing and
Too much
hearing here
nationality always
might
leads
be
to
the event at
fascism.
the start of the game. I think what we're seeing here is Anton using his military forces to seize complete control over Yara and turn it into the dictatorship that we'll need to spend the rest of the game overthrowing.
Not so fun fighting against tanks, though. I'll tell you that much.
Fuck are the police? They're just letting the military come in to murder us? Animales.
It's by turning us against each other.
You know what? Fuck Castillo. And fuck Yara.
Looks like his plan worked on you too.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Who are they?
Protesters.
No, I haven't seen Fresh. I've seen a handful of his other movies, though. Well, like I said, too much nationalism always leads to fascism. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your country.
One of the voices you
But when you
heard
feel
there is
like
the
anything
female
outside of your
version of the
country is a
character
problem,
Rojas.
that's when
The other, I believe, is the voice
things
of
get
Clara Garcia,
bad.
the leader of the revolutionary group Libertad, who I've been told we do meet at the very start of the game. You'll have noticed that, as they walk through the carnage, Danny is ready to leave, but Clara is convincing her to stay and fight against Anton, who has been busy putting to death anyone who dares to speak against him,
Maybe.
from journalists and protesters
I know what you
to
mean, like it.
artists. It's proper brutal dictator shit.
Did you say dictatorship? That's an interesting way to say that.
Fucking say something.
Alright, chill your boots. Next up, we're going to see some comparison shots of the male and female versions of Danny Rojas. This will show off not
Oh, I didn't know
only
you
the
can choose
character
different
models and
versions.
the voice acting, but will hopefully help you decide which version you'll choose to play as. Me, I think female Danny is by far the best of the two.
Yeah, I think female is like the canonical one they're going with.
You're an orphan, see? Funny how friends can be closer than family. Remember, Danny, Castillo has kept you an orphan. Why do you want to run? I watched Castillo order a whole boat of our people shot to death. Get as far away as you can from that psychopath. All of you. When tyranny is law, revolution is order. Quoting Bolivar won't save you. It's Pedro Albizu, gonna save Yara with library cards. I have a list. You're an orphan, see? Funny how friends can be closer than family. Remember, Danny, Castillo has kept you an orphan. Why do you want to run?
I watched Castillo order a whole boat of our people shot to death. Get as far away as you can from that psychopath. All of you.
When tyranny is law, revolution is order.
Quoting Bolivar won't save you.
It's Pedro Albizu.
Gonna save Yara with library cards?
I have a list.
The woman we saw arguing with the Dannys there is Clara Garcia, the Libertad leader whom I mentioned a few points ago. The following footage seems to take place in Libertad's main guerrilla camp, which looks to be located by the sea. My theory then is that this camp is located on Isla Santuario, the island that we saw at the start of this video. Isla Santuario means Sanctuary Island, and if previous Far Cry's are anything to go by, I expect that this small island will be where we learn the basics of the gameplay. We'll escape from Esperanza, come here, be recruited to Libertad, liberate this island, and from here head out to the mainland to take on the rest of Castillo's forces. I'll just leave this close-up of the map here on screen for a second, just in case you want to pause this video and check out all the names of the regions for yourself. I presume the colour coding on the map shows which areas are under controls from different faction bosses, a bit like how Far Cry 5's map was split into areas controlled by different members of the Seed family. These next few shots show us a few of the members of Libertad that we'll meet at the beginning of the game. There's not much information about them all, but I presume
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like
we'll come to know quite well during the course of the game.
Watch Dogs advertised itself as something that it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay.
To be fair, the graphics on this
Your paz.
are underwhelming,
Your paz. And I need you here.
but who knows? Maybe when the game comes out, it'll be the opposite. Like a surprise. Like, hey, it looks better than we thought.
The chap wearing the
I'm playing on PC anyway, so my game is gonna look great no matter what I do.
Juan Cortez, another major
Get some reshade on there.
Juan is known as the Guerrilla Master, and he's not only Clara's mentor, but also he's the guy you'll be getting all of Far Cry 6's wacky weaponry from. But more on that later.
You never listen to Pedro Torrero? This generation is lost.
Does he ever stop talking?
No.
Tostador. The two go together like fire and fury. Hey, what's your size?
Supremo on or off?
This cutscene references an as-yet unseen character, Anton Castillo's wife or lover, Maria. Will she play a larger role in the game? Perhaps she's a region boss we'll need to take down before we reach Anton.
Papers. Christmas trees? Do you even grow those here?
Mexicans pay crazy money for this. How you think El Presidente funded Maria's new face?
Okay. Go through.
What's going on here is anyone's guess, but judging by the scenery, I think this may be a cutscene that takes place on the oil rig.
I mean, I'm not saying PC is master race, but I'm just saying.
He's not here.
Next up, we're going to be exploring Yara with some first-person shots, starting with this lovely view here. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, we can see that landmass that we're all familiar with now, Isla Santuario. That means, going by the in-game map, Danny is probably stood right now in the Costa del Mar region of Yara. This here seems to be a friendly village or guerrilla camp, and hopefully we're going to be able to fly that chopper. I'm not sure what that castle-like structure is there, some kind of old tourist attraction maybe. Either way, I can tell that this is another one of Far Cry 6's FND base outposts, as it's well fortified, and there are a couple of structures on there that look like the alarms that you need to disable in other Far Cry games. I'm not sure where this part is located on the world map, but it is very reminiscent of the old World War II bunker areas from Far Cry 3's Rook Islands. I can tell from the graffiti on the wall there that this is where we spotted that ocelot thingy earlier.
This is going to be an issue.
Must be Libertad.
Because that didn't look like it was something you could break through.
Signify hidden Libertad stashes, I wonder? Danny doesn't pick anything up here, but I'd put money on the fact that a cache of weapons will be hidden here in the full release.
Shit, who's shooting? Better stay quiet.
Heads up, there's a standard Far Cry stealth takedown on the way.
How did I know you were scavenging for Libertad? I smelled it on you. That's why you died. Now I'm going to call this in. You are going to be slowly eaten bit by bit.
Oh, for a minute I thought it was the same animation, but
I love the way that the flora reacts to the breeze in all of this gameplay. We'll see
changed it up a bit.
example of that coming up in another clip soon, but even in a gentle breeze, the trees and plants here move realistically and make the scenery feel alive. Here's what I presume to be an actual weapons cache, complete with a Libertad symbol on the top. This underground section seems a bit creepy, but don't worry, I don't think it's haunted.
If it makes you feel any better, I was a PlayStation guy before PC.
Symbol here, which suggests that this is a secret guerrilla path underneath Esperanza that you'll be able to use in order to sneak into the city. So in this scene, you can see the waterfall that I talked about near the start of this video, and the amount of friendly NPCs wandering around makes me think that this is probably located somewhere on Isla Santuario. Here's that breeze clip I was talking about. The plant life is really getting blown around here as the storm starts to kick up, and the way the light shines through the trees here is especially beautiful.
Yeah, that looks good.
This is a great shot of Esperanza, showing off its northern edge where the city meets the sea. There's even a lighthouse in the distance, which I bet holds some awesome goodies for us to schnaffle. These next couple of shots show some familiar city and rural scenes, but this time with the rain weather effect in full swing. Okay, this next segment highlights a brand new feature to the Far Cry series, and that's Danny's ability to be able to hide in plain sight by holstering their weapon. Honestly, this is like the least exciting mechanic I've ever heard of in a Far Cry game, but going by this footage, it'll allow you to listen to the NPCs and soak up intel and world lore without having to squat in a bush to do so.
We're looking for a man named Juan Cortez.
I don't know the name. What does he look like?
Older, wears a fedora, dresses like a tourist, never stops fucking talking.
Sorry, senor. I have not seen him.
How about the Libertad terrorista Clara Garcia?
No, never.
Papers. I don't have them on me, senor. The papers? That's a serious offense.
Disculpa. I must have left them at home.
I'm going to have to report you.
No, por favor, senor. Veamos si no se me queda.
Looks like the sidecar motorbikes from Far Cry New Dawn are back in Far Cry 6. It would be cool to have dirt bikes or normal motorbikes in the game, but I guess that would leave your amigos with no place to sit. Here's another example of gun holstering, this time to avoid being aggroed by a passing patrol car.
If that were true, then I'd be king of peasants, right? Wouldn't that make me a peasant?
A lot of frustrations from past games in the series, where
Or would that make me a
enemies would
czar?
just attack you the moment they saw you. Now this is interesting. This seems to be some kind of treasure hunting mission, using clues displayed on Danny's mobile phone. Was this photo sent to Danny by someone, or is it something that we'll need to take a photo of first before we can follow its clues? I don't know.
They had said in the previous video that
I love treasure hunts.
Yara
So
is like
side missions should be
stuck in a time capsule. They haven't really updated their infrastructure or anything like that, so
confirmed. Now I wonder if Vars
they're kind of stuck in the 60s and 70s.
in the game. Here's what looks like another treasure hunting mission, although this time it looks like there's the option to swipe left and right on the phone to look at other images. Perhaps here we'll get multiple photos of clues to help us find what we're looking for. There's more vehicular footage coming up now, starting with this lovely shot of Yara from the deck of one of the game's boats. The trouble with vintage cars is that they're always breaking down, as you can see demonstrated by these unfortunate NPCs here. At least Danny gets to ride their one with the top down though. This is one of the main checkpoints into and out of Esperanza. I'm sure something bad will happen here, but while you wait for that to happen, you can spend your time looking at the lush interiors of all the vintage vehicles. Oh, and also, what about that domino tattoo on Danny's left hand? It's on both the male and female versions of Danny, but I'm not sure what it means. Its prominence in all this gameplay probably means it's significant in some way, but in what way, I'm not sure. Here we can see Danny riding one of those sidecar bikes, and in the distance you can also see that we'll be able to drive tractors around Yara too. Oh, and just before the camera cuts away from this shot, we can also see in the distance, just by that tractor, a wild animal pounce on a passerby.
Yeah, that makes sense about an embargo.
Listen, as a treat for
I imagine they probably
solo,
embargoed him after
here are some gratuitous horse riding and horse
Castillo
petting shots for
took
your
control of the island.
You can not only ride horses in Far Cry 6, but you can also shoot from them too, which is something that previously could only be done in Far Cry 4 with the elephants.
Good horse.
Okay, we've done sightseeing, characters and vehicles, so I guess it's probably a good time to talk about weapons and customization.
Yes, weapons and customization.
Here is Danny inspecting guns in
That's
front
what
of
I'm
I
really
presume
interested in.
is one of many workbenches in the game. These all seem to be standard old guns with a lot of homemade extras bolted on. Some guns, like this grenade launcher here, even have places to attach trinkets, like that little grenade there, so expect to be able to earn and unlock plenty of those. On the subject of trinkets, this dog tag here holds a pretty cool Easter egg. It belonged to Willis Huntley, the dodgy CIA operative that had small roles in Far Cry's 3, 4 and 5.
Consider this information your last paycheck. You've been killing CIA assets this entire time. We're cleaning house.
These next few shots are showing off something called Supremo backpacks, which are new to the series. I'm going to go into more detail on those later, so for now I just want to point out that the metallic exterior of these conga drums here show a proper reflection of Danny as he walks by. No reflections here, just a nice set of funky cosmetics for Danny to dress in, ranging from shoes and gloves all the way through to headwear like helmets and goggles. This gear can be specially tailored to your playstyle.
But does the
so
chicken
some
come with it?
items will help you take more damage, whilst others will give you the edge if you prefer the stealthier option. So here, for instance, Danny is wearing the marksman's goggles, which will make you a much deadlier sniper by increasing headshot damage.
So the gear actually has an impact on your attributes.
Right, let's kick things up a notch with some actual action. And in this first scene, as Danny attacks some of Castillo's army, we can see one of the game's amigos, the tiny wheelchair-using sausage dog Chorizo, leaping into action and attacking one of the soldiers. That soldier manages to shake Chorizo off, and then, shock horror, he starts shooting at him. So obviously, that soldier deserves...
See, what they need is a shovel.
Subsequently enters his face.
They wouldn't have all these problems if they had a shovel.
Switching guns and throwing grenades is standard Far Cry stuff, but I do enjoy the way the scenery reacts to the resulting explosion, which topples trees and smashes apart the nearby food carts.
Remember back in the day when gameplay like this was all
In Far Cry 6, you can hide
generated
horses by
and people
killing
try to play it off
horses.
like it was gameplay?
Horses, if you don't know, are basically motorbikes made out of meat. Here we get our first good look at one of Castillo's special heavy soldiers, known as a riot soldier. That special shield they're deploying there seems to be impervious to all of Danny's
Well, that's definitely
bullets,
not from the
so
50s.
This is really going to change up how you attack these groups of enemies. Here's some more standard combat, but watch out for the switch to the modified nail gun. It looks lethal.
That must suck.
Taking on a tank is probably one of the hardest things you'll have to do in Far Cry 6, but using a couple of Molotovs and some sharp shooting, Danny here makes it look pretty easy. In this battle for the oil rig, you'll notice an alarm box on Danny's right-hand side here, signifying that this is also an FND base outpost. Want to heal your wounds mid-battle in the most Cuban way possible? Then why not cauterize those bullet holes with a freshly lit cigar? It's nice to see one of the game's tank hijacking animations here. And here's a rather brutal way to remove two soldiers from a car that you want using only one machete and 1 foot. As you can see here, throwing knives...
A shovel in every
Far Cry
pot.
6, which should be great news for those of you who love to go stealthy. This next thing is new though. You can now throw baseballs at bad guys to stun them or attract their attention. I'm not sure if baseballs replace the normal stone throwing mechanic or if they're part of something different. I can't wait to have a ball throwing balls at my enemy's balls.
I might have to become the machete. In Far Cry 6, machete might be the weapon of choice.
Regime's many flak cannons. These flak cannons are new to the game and they're how Castillo controls the skies over Yara, so you'll need to destroy them one by one if you want to fly a plane or a helicopter without being shot down. Check out the bottom right hand side of the screen here for a quick look at one of Far Cry 6's new tripwire traps. Just like with the flak cannon, Danny seems to be throwing some kind of homemade EMP device at this camera in order to disable it. You've gotta love silent sniper rifles in Far Cry games, especially when you're planning on taking down an FND base like this one.
A silent sniper.
Not only is the bow back in Far Cry 6, but explosive arrows are too. As you can see, this is a slightly louder and much messier way to take down the flak cannons than using EMPs. There's not too much going on here combat-wise, apart from some attempts at no-scoping that soldier, but if you look carefully at the trinket on this gun, you'll notice that it's a domino. What on earth could the significance of dominoes be?
Maybe it's a symbol of the revolution.
These shots of a beefed-up car seem to be taken from a cutscene. Could this be something that happens when Danny and Clara escape Esperanza at the start of the game, perhaps? I touched upon your basic weapons and customizations earlier, but this next section shows off some of the game's signature resolver weapons. Resolver is a real-life concept born from Cuba, which literally means to solve, and it's a philosophy of resourcefulness and creativity. It's about making what you need with what you have, and it's about inflicting chaos with everything you've got, and these homemade weapons that you're seeing here are some of the most powerful in the game. These special weapons are mainly given to you by Juan Cortez, so make sure to check in with him regularly, especially if you want to get your hands on this incredible Macarena gun.
Well, apparently they can import CDs, I guess. Holy hell. You just missed all those bullets.
Supremos are another brand new toy for Far Cry 6. These backpacks are Juan's masterworks, and they can be activated to unleash a special ability depending on which one you're wearing.
If those are like jetpacks, I might have to be
Supremo,
okay.
for instance, isn't powerful enough to lift Danny far off the ground, but it will burn any soldiers who are unlucky enough to get within the blast radius.
See, I was hoping I can at least like hover a little bit with it. I was gonna Boba Fett it. Well, that's Jango Fett. Boba Fett had the rifle.
This Supremo here will obliterate pretty much anything in your path, and yes, that even means tanks. As you've probably already guessed, the Resolver philosophy of customization and creation is a huge part of the Far Cry 6 experience, and this even extends to your very own vehicles, which are known as guerrilla rides. You can have your very own guerrilla rides delivered to you wherever you are, and these vehicles can be fitted with things like machine gun turrets, various...
Now if only the game had a reverse button.
And even cosmetic items like rims and bobbleheads. Okay, we're nearly at the end now, but I can't leave you without talking a little bit more about the Amigos. We've already seen Chorizo in action, but now it's time to meet Huapo, the jacket-wearing, gold-tooth sporting crocodile who'll be your best bud on the battlefield should you choose to have him as your amigo. And yes, you can pet the crocodile.
Good croc.
Obviously, the only amigo anyone is going to choose, though, is Chorizo. Hence why there's even a cute little Chorizo trinket with moving wheels attached to this gun.
Good dog. Good dog.
Chorizo can swim, and it's adorable. That's it. That's the point.
Good boy.
One of Chorizo's most powerful attacks is his ability to use his intense cuteness to distract your enemies. No one is immune to Chorizo's powers of preciousness, so you'll be free to go in for the kill while your foes are fawning after
Hey, despite
him.
the added weight, Boba Fett was still a beast. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You just exposed that dog to so much, and now you're petting it with bloody fingers.
And finally, for the 101st thing we spotted in this brand new Far Cry 6 gameplay, Well, it's just more footage of Chorizo being cute. But honestly, can you blame me for including it? I mean, look at his little face. No. And there we go. That was an incredibly deep dive into 22 minutes worth of brand new Far Cry 6 gameplay. I absolutely love the Far Cry series, so if you do too, make sure to subscribe to this channel for all the Far Cry 6 news you can handle and more
Boba Fett, that's messed up.
in the near future. Oh, and please do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and check out some of these other Far Cry videos that are on screen and clickable right now. Goodbye.
How long has the stream been going? I'm curious. Let's see. About an hour. So the stream wasn't as long as I imagined it to be. But I will be playing Far Cry 5 maybe sometime later on today. If not today, then tomorrow, 2 o'clock, just like normal. Yeah, the videos that I have are taking longer to upload on the internet than I assumed they would. Now, maybe there's something up, either with the internet itself or with YouTube, because that might explain why this stream was kind of funky after the fact. Maybe something's up with the internet, so I'll probably have to check that out. But hopefully those videos will be done within a few hours, and then I can start live streaming. Excuse me, very tired. And I'll try to start live streaming about maybe 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Just stick close. If I feel like I can get them up within a certain amount of time, I'll try to have another video on standby that you guys can click into and, you know, join the chat and everything else before it starts. But I want to thank everybody for coming through. Anyone that's new here that hasn't been involved in any way with my other live streams the last, I'd say, week or so, I live stream every other day. Today was the day that I was scheduled to do a live stream. I decided to make it this instead of the gameplay. I plan on doing the gameplay still today, but if not, then I will do it tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so be sure to stick around for that. I do have some videos coming out today, including a very special oversimplified that just came out, so be on the lookout for that. And I look forward to seeing you guys on future streams and videos. Until then, I'm Devon DaVinci. 1 second, let me see if I got this. Oh, nope, there we go. I'm Devon DaVinci. I look forward to seeing you guys later, and I'm going to give you the deuces, and I'm signing out. Deuces.